Hey beauty queen. So today we're going to talk about what does it feel like when we are stepping into our gifts and we've come from a background, a religious background that has taught us that what we have within us, this ability to commune with heaven, is wrong, bad, and against God. Okay, so I wanted to dive in today because part of my journey in this world has been to discover God's truth that lands in my body and that we do learn in the Bible. There's some discrepancies for me that come through when it comes to my Catholic upbringing. I love my religion, don't get me wrong, but I also love God so much that I was willing to go past the four walls of the church in order to have an understanding of what God was asking me to do. Because look, as we come into this world and as we have these awakenings, the very real thing for most people is to have a conscience and a moral obligation to God, a conscience of making sure that we're in alignment, checking ourselves, leaning in, and really coming to that, okay, this is God-centered. Okay, this is what I'm being shown and asked. And we understand what the difference is between dark, scary, fearful, I'll even say psychic impressions, psychic readings compared to channeling, moving with God, prayer, intimate relationship, and having God be the authority over our work while we are in integrity in our body. So what happens when we are out of integrity and not connected with the divine, with source, with God, is we tend to want to have more readings, more connections, working more in the psychic element of our gifts. And this feeds off of our past, our traumas, the places where we have been in this world that are very real. And oftentimes we tend to end up in a people-pleasing role because we do have a good heart. We have love as that center and that focus, but there's a little brokenness, right? Because we're needing to provide something in order to receive something. So there's transactional experiences. Transaction is, I give you this reading, I'm going to connect you, I'm going to showcase, I have your answers, and it's all about the I, because there's pain, because there's a void, there's a separation from true, intimate love with God. We have forgotten who we really are. Now we have a journey that comes to us when we start having the awakening, which is why you're here, right? You start to open up, you start to become curious, you start to maybe want to expand your practice in a whole new way. And we have to be willing to turn the noise of the outside world off in order to be very intimate with God, to be very connected. And I keep saying that word very because it's like I want to make it really important here that that's the only source of energy that you're bringing in at all times. And it takes some practice and it takes a willingness to turn off the psychic noise. So let's go back a little bit to religion and teachings and, how we have been instructed. If you're Christian, if you're Catholic, you have this in your upbringing that connecting, that divination is bad, that seeking sorcery, witchcraft, mediums is bad because it's the conjuring up of the dead. It's calling in to give information that is outside of God. And this is what I learned in my own experience when I leaned in with God, when I surrendered everything and was willing actually to close my practice, was willing to put it all aside to not do this work because it was so against my upbringing, and the people that know and love me were really worried about my soul. They were really worried about what it was that I was doing in my work. And so I didn't take that lightly. I took their concern as a way to lean in further, as a way to go into myself and into relationship with God, like full on. And this is what I found. And I'm going to invite you to do this for yourself, because I do believe that it's really important for us individually to lean in with our soul, with God, to really have an understanding of what it is He's calling us in this life to do. It's one thing to be able to have that connection and to channel the messages. That's great. It's beautiful. Yippee-doo-dah. But listen, this is moral. This is bigger. We want to really make sure that our soul is attuned, that we are listening and attuning, and we are not going to the places that we are not welcome or we're not supposed to go. So I always say this: just because you can doesn't mean you should. Just because you can deliver the messages that you receive doesn't mean you should. That's why we resource. That's why we check in. That's why we have our meditation practice and our sacred start, so that we are in communion at all times, that we're always resourcing and we're always asking, what will you have me do with this? And if it doesn't feel, if you're not getting the click in your body, if it's not coming to you through your senses inside, then you are a no until it's on the inside. We talk about inside senses, outside senses, or earthbound senses and heavenly senses. Your heavenly senses are in your body. They are the ones that we connect with when we go through our heart center, when we dive into our body and follow our breath into our body with our senses, and we stack our senses, and we'll be doing more. And that great experience in life helps us to be expansive and grow and love fuller and deeper. And our heavenly senses, well, come on, this is incredible. We get to commune with God. We get to be in a relationship with the Holy Mother. We get to be with Jesus in our meditation and be expansive. We get to call in our angels for guidance and support, knowing and loving our people that we get to work with. We bring them into our prayers and we ask God, what would you have for them? What would you like me to do with them? Show me, lead me, guide me, open my senses, let me know. And then it brings us into having connection with our departed loved ones. It reminds us that love is readily available for us. So it is not bad or wrong or against God that you have these gifts. On the other hand, it is so good. It is so righteous. It is so perfect when used in the beautiful God-based manner, when it's used for the greater good, when you're not conjuring up the energy, calling it in just to please someone else, just to throw something at someone just so you receive a transactional experience. So this is what we're going to start doing. We're going to start diving into some experiences of healing our people-pleasing, because if we do not pay attention to our bodies, if we do not pay attention to where we've been, maybe those, I'll say, trauma, painful experiences that left imprints in your body of being an open vessel, all times that empath who's received and then maybe a little off balance. If we don't heal in the physical, then our energy is going to be transactional. And we want to make sure that we're not transactional. For the highest and best good, this is servitude. Servitude also means receiving in the way that God has for us. So let's talk about exchange, because it might feel a little confusing right now. It might feel like, but I need to make money to live. I need to survive. And without having these readings, without having these experiences, then I'm not going to be okay. I'm not saying that you're not supposed to receive. I'm saying if there's a transactional experience in your body, if you are exiting your body to people please your person because you want them to have the best of the best and you want to continue to serve, but you're exiting your body to do so, you're going out of your energy centers through your energy centers in with your senses, and you're diving around and you're seeking it, you're calling it in. then you're out of integrity with your truth. You're out of alignment with God. When we're in alignment with God, then we're calling and we're saying, what do you have for this person? Lead me, guide me, show me. Open your senses, do your meditation. It comes to you. You don't go to it. Very big difference. And that's how you shift it. And then the receivership begins to elevate, because now you are in the experience of serving, and God is like, thank you, I love this, this is beautiful. And the serving opens up another avenue for you in the bounty that God has planned for you. And we'll go into this in another episode, and we'll talk about soul contracts and soul purpose. But for here and now, I just want to land in with circling back about religion, and the ability to commune with heaven isn't against God. What is not okay with God is when we are seeking to provide something for someone because we need a transaction, because we need to be reminded that we are okay, that we're safe, that we're good, that we're talented, that we've got the answers for them. That's it. So we want to take that off the table. And only you are aware of your own experience. So I invite you to lean in a little bit. I invite you to open up your awareness and be curious when you're in session and ask, am I in my body? Am I staying here? Am I holding to my heavenly senses and allowing God to provide what this person needs? Or am I going past his line to get what I think they need? Who's in charge here? Who's in charge in your session? That's going to give you the answers so you can dive in and clean up some of the energy and start really coming into your inwardly senses. Yes. And if you didn't listen to the previous podcast, which it talks about dialing our energy centers in, I'm going to invite you there. Go there, dial your energy centers in, Oh my goodness, I'm like tripping over my tongue. Dial your energy centers in, bring them in, dial them to the fore, hold space, learn what it feels like to be in just receivership with God. Once you are in that authority, once you know that, you can open up more and receive clearer, more insightful, the bounty that God has. That's as easy as it needs to be. All right, for today, I'm going to leave you here. This is juicy. This is good. And I hope that it serves you. I hope it reminds you that you are good and God loves you. Have a beautiful day.